moves a man, a woman, to do extraordinary things and make extraordinary sacrifices for the glory of God and the advancement of the kingdom. It is love. And if it is not love, it's a faulty reason. So if I need something strong to work on my behalf, what is it? Love. Love. Love for God. And then if my translation of the Hebrew is correct in the second part, passion is as unrelenting and unflexible as the grave. Is there anything more unrelenting than the grave? Is there anything more unflexible? Once you're there, you're there. It will not let you go. It grabs a hold of you and holds you. Someone asked me one time, what was it like right before your heart stopped? Did you have any sensation? There was only one thing. It is like something grabbed me. And if you've ever been in a fight, there's nothing worse than being pinned to the ground and there's nothing you can do about it. You can't break out from under it. The force, the strength of your opponent is too great, and he can, from that position, mock you. It seemed as though it was unrelenting, inescapable. Now, if we look at this from a positive side, if only there was a love in me for God that was as strong as death. If only there was a passion for the glory of God that was as unrelenting and inflexible as the grave. That once it grabbed a hold of this goal, this supreme goal, this sunum bonum of life, once it grabbed a hold of it, it wouldn't let go. After so many years, I find myself grabbing a hold and letting go, being cold and warm and hot and back to cold again, mutable in all the most negative ways. But if there could be something inside me that would be strong and unrelenting, and isn't that the burden? Isn't that the pain of all of us? We're so changeable. What's the answer? Love. And I want to say it this way, and I want you to be keen to remember my language. Our love for God. But now I've only given you a partial solution. In fact, I've led you to another problem, haven't I? How do you do that? How do you make yourself love God? How do you increase your love for God? I mean, is it the proverbial pull yourself up by your own bootstraps? I mean, if I was laying on the ground and you saw me laying on my back and I had both hands and I was grasping my belt and I was pulling upward with all my might, you would maybe ask me, what are you doing? And I would say, well, I'm trying to get up. And you would say, well, Brother Washer, if you had studied physics, you would know that in order to do that, you must be acted upon by an outside force. If you're going to do it that way, you can't pull yourself up. Someone outside of you has to do it. And that's the same thing with the love of God, our love for God. What are you going to do? Go to a conference, acquire the fire, get all wound up and excited because the songs are beautiful and emotional and the preaching is good, and then 3 days later, like a little toy soldier, you unwind, and all that zeal for the glory of God is gone, and it makes you more bitter than when you started. Because here you are again, the same person. How do we make ourselves love God? Well, jump with me again to 1 John, and you'll find the key. Chapter 4, verse 19. We love because He first loved us. So what do we see here? Our love is not self-generated, is what we see. So stop it. Stop trying to wind yourself up. It's not the way it works. We love Him because He first loved us. That means any growth in love, any improvement in my love for God, to accelerate me to live for the glory of God, any augmentation of my love for God is utterly dependent on my understanding of God's love for me.